A new children's book is tackling a very serious issue for kids and their parents. It's called, I love this title, If You Touch, I'll Tell. Its goal is to protect children from predators and teach them to speak up for themselves. The book is written like a poem with verses like, if someone touches you, you must tell, and fight and scratch and kick and yell. Dr. Shamina Aubuchon is the author of this book. She joins us now at the table. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I've been getting a lot of children's books lately because of favorite grandson, Luca. This landed on my desk, and at first I winced a little bit because I went, oh, morning TV, I don't know. Then I read it, and I thought, that's the problem. Because people wince and go, oh, I don't know, we don't want to talk about it. I was raised with stranger danger.
Yes.
But when you read this, what you realize and what all the experts know, it's not the strangers most of the time who are hurting your children.
Right. It's actually not the strangers. Looking at the statistics, we find out that 93% of cases, juvenile cases that go in front of law enforcement, the children actually report that they've been abused by someone that they know, someone within their family.
Who's close to them.
Right. And only about 7% of the children will say that they did not know who did it. But even within that 7%, some of the children, they lie because they don't want to hurt a family member.
Right. And you know what I loved about what you did in the book in verse, I won't read it, although it's very good. You said they will tell you that it's a game. They will tell you it's our secret. They will tell you, I will hurt your family if you tell.
Yes.
And you put all this guilt on the child. And your thing, the constant refrain is, it is not my fault, and if you do, I will tell, I will yell, I will make sure you're off the streets.
Yes.
You want children to have their own voice.
I do, because I did not always have a voice, you know. I was also, I'm a survivor of child abuse, and it happened by a close family member. And at the time, I did not have a voice.
Girl.
I was 7 years old when it started, and I finally found my voice at 14. And at 10, I wanted to tell, but I just did not know how to go to my mom and say those words would not come out of me.
Right. Yeah.
So when I wrote this book, I put myself back at 10, and everything I thought I needed, I put in that book.
It in that book.
Yes, ma'am.
The age of the child obviously makes a big difference here. 10 is different than 14 is different than 7. When you think about the younger kids and you're reading them that book, how do you explain to them the difference between appropriate and inappropriate touching?
Definitely. That is something that, one, I want to tell children, I said in this book, an inappropriate touch is any touch that makes you feel uncomfortable. So I know that there are a lot of books out there that talk about good touch versus bad touch. But I think we need to be very careful because, for example, I tell my daughter, even though your hand is maybe not a private thing, but if you ask your friend not to touch your hands and your friend insists, that is a bad touch because you need to have your body boundaries and your hand is personal, your mind is personal. Even in the book, I talk about saying something negative to a child. That could be potential inappropriate behavior for the child's mind.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, anything that's not appropriate to you, it's okay with me, may be okay with you. So an appropriate touch is anything.
But it's more than that, though, Shamina, because you show a model of a child, you show the body parts.
Yes.
Right.
And you point out, this is your protected space.
Right.
And you also give a list of people, a teacher, a babysitter, a nephew, a cousin, a mother, a father, a sister, a
Yes.
brother. You really lay it all out for the child to be able to speak up on this.
Exactly. I thought that when I was 10, if I just had a poster in my room, right? And then I would just hold my mother's hand and say, Mommy.
That.
And she would say, what happened there? And I would tell her, and then she would say, who did it? And I would go,
And you would have a
I
list.
could have saved 4 years, of my life, but I had to wait until I was strong enough to find those words. So I wanted the children to have a tool. Yes.
Now, as Gayle mentioned, there is a hesitancy from parents. It could be due to past trauma. It could just be due to fear. It could just be being uncomfortable having real conversations with your kids.
Yes.
Oftentimes, we amp ourselves up and we say, okay, I'm going to have this conversation, our hearts start racing, and then we dial it back.
Yes.
What advice do you give to parents? How do you encourage them to ask these tough questions?
I would tell parents, you know what? For people like me who've been through abuse, it's easy for folks to tell you, it happened so long ago, just forget about it.
Yes.
I'm almost 42 and I live with it every day. And sometimes when I see my daughter, I just think about what she could potentially go through. And that alone, parents should know that your child is so worthy to be saved. And prevention is better than cure, especially in the case of sexual abuse. There is no cure for this thing.
Yes.
You have to deal with it.
As your
And you said
child
that
is so worthy to be saved.
Yes.
Didn't you like that, Nate? I like
That is
that.
really
When you
good.
said, it
Yes.
gave me goosebumps. And you said there are 3 words that parents can use that are even more important than I love you, and I couldn't figure out what that is. What is it?
I believe you.
Yeah. Yes.
Because there's love in belief. You have to love a child enough to believe them, right?
Yeah.
And when my mother told me that she believed me,
It meant everything.
oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Even today, I get emotional because she believed me.
Well, let me tell you, the illustrations are great. The story is great. I told favorite daughter Kirby about it. And first she said, I don't know. Then she said, but you know what? I would want Luca to yell and tell.
Yes.
Because those are the kids they go after. They go after the quiet kids, not the
Yes.
kids who are yelling and telling.
Right.
You've set it up very
Thank you.
nicely in this book.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
for
you
your
so
courage in
much.
the book.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Shamina Aubuchon. Good
Thank
job.
you so
Good job.
much.
If You Touch, I'll Tell is now on sale wherever you like to buy your books. You're watching CBS Mornings. We thank you for that. We'll be right back.